Hello, Moon Babes. I'm Jilly Moon Andromeda, and here is your cosmic report for the Taurus New Moon on April 22nd, 2020 at 10:26 p.m. Eastern. The Sun and the Moon are connecting in the sky at 3 degrees and 24 minutes of Taurus, ushering in a new cycle of growth in our consciousness and our emotional worlds. The seeds of intention that are planted at this time will grow in the next 6 months, reaching their peak and complete manifestation at the Taurus full moon on Halloween, October 31st, 2020. This new moon is significant for our resources and the resources of Mother Earth. It isn't a coincidence that this cycle is beginning on Earth Day during a 444 Stargate portal. The universe is literally throwing every sign at us to wake up to what is happening around us and what is happening to our planet. When we see the number 4 repeating, it is a call to pay attention to our foundations and our security. We are beginning to awaken to the cracks in our collective and individual foundations. And it is imperative that we begin to be more deliberate, methodical, and mindful of our resources. The Sabian symbol of this new moon is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, which happens to be the same degree of Taurus that Chiron, the centaur planet that represents our woundedness, was discovered upon on November 1st, 1977. I'm going to read the full description of this Sabian symbol from the book 360 Degrees of Wisdom by Linda Hill for deeper insight into the energies seeking to grow with this new moon cycle. The pot of gold at the end of the rainbow is a wonderful image. Rainbows are said to be a bridge to the divine. They inspire awe as we gaze at their beauty and the sheer wonder of nature. They can represent boundless promise, and there is said to be a reward, a pot of gold, to be found at its end. In folklore, elves, leprechauns, and fairies are associated with the pot of gold. The quest to find our pot of gold is very tempting, but it can be forever elusive because it appears to move as we move or as we change our perspective. However, we all have our dreams, and with a little concentrated effort, we can reach our own version of the pot of gold. It can imply riches and rewards on many levels, sometimes beyond our wildest dreams. There may be a need to reflect on just what exactly these riches are. The promise of the pot of gold entices us, but this can also be the cause of problems if we forget other more important things in life. Some people want material or spiritual riches without putting in any hard work. This way of thinking may lead one astray. Although some people can earn their way through life on a wing and a prayer, most have to put in a true effort to succeed. Often it is not the finding of the elusive pot of gold at the rainbow's end that is the real reward, but the rewards found during the search and the wonder the rainbow creates as it links heaven and earth. Perhaps there is a constant search for rewards without recognizing the riches that are already at hand. In this situation, many rewards can come from creative and spiritual efforts. Just be a little wary of expecting too much. Picture a rainbow in your mind. See the pot of gold, and hold it in your memory bank. This will sustain you and may indeed lead you to your reward. This symbol reminds us of the hard work that must come before we reach the gold. And when I look at this new moon chart, I see that we'll be experiencing quite a bit of discomfort to reach sustainability and grounding during this time. But it will be worth it. There are rewards to be found when we mindfully utilize our resources and step into our individual creative powers. This new moon chart opens at 7 degrees Sagittarius, telling me that we are collectively seeking the truth and expanding our worldviews. It is set on a mutable cross, so we are adaptable and sympathetic as we move forward. Though when I see a mutable cross, I also think of the potential to fall back onto old ways of relating and thinking, or to adapt to the vibe of our environments. So, depending on the company you keep, this could be a good thing or a bad thing. It is important to remember that we are the divine creators of our realities. We can aim high or low in our perspectives, and my wish is that you shoot for the moon and leave the rest behind. Our souls are learning lessons in how our relationships affect our emotional bodies. Relationships of all kinds are being reconsidered and adjusted. This past month has been purging everything not in alignment with us reaching our highest potential. There has been breakups, breakdowns, deaths, and other intense experiences that have required us to look within and acknowledge our shadows, the parts of ourselves that we deem unworthy or shameful. This work was necessary because we are undergoing a death of our value systems. This new moon will have us learning how to get by with much less, as there has been considerable changes in sources of income for millions. This period of breakdown to our finances and self-worth is making way for us to actualize, draw into our lives, that which we truly value. This 444 Stargate portal is bringing us to a place of stability in our lives, but first we must tear down and remove all that has been holding us back. We are awakening to just how much we have allowed external forces to control the direction of our lives. And we are beginning to take our power back and feeling optimistic in doing so. During this time, it is important that we follow a path that benefits society as a whole and that is beyond personal glory. Otherwise, we may experience loss of power and misfortune. Also, the heightened optimism of this new moon may result in overextension of oneself and taking on more than is sustainable. Move slowly right now and be intentional with your steps. Now more than ever do we need to analyze and use our discretion when handling resources. It is a good time to invest in projects that are sustainable and economical, though it is a bad time to invest in questionable enterprises that are high risk. There will be some idealistic thinking and communications that may lead you off course. If something sounds too good to be true, then wait to make a decision, because there may be some misunderstandings or deliberate misrepresentations of the actual situation. It is always best to wait it out if there is any degree of confusion or uncertainty. Though the high vibe of this energy is finding our imaginations enhanced, leading to creative ideas and possibilities, there may be profound insights to be found that help us to better understand abstract ideas and help us to grow in our identities. We're all being stimulated to create and be authentically expressive, though be mindful of where you are directing your desires. Venus is currently in her shadow phase, so she will be moving back over this time period, forcing us to reconsider our values and relationships of this time. So use discretion in relationships and finances, as you may be feeling extra impulsive and may be a bit inappropriate in your engagements and may be wasteful in your spending. But do express yourself. Shine a spotlight on your heart's desires and be yourself. This new moon chart is a little concerning for me, due to the fact that we are currently experiencing a worldwide pandemic, and I am seeing a lot of nervous and rebellious energy at play. I understand that this period of waiting is difficult, but I urge you to remain patient with the process. You may not want to listen to me, as I'm sensing most of us will not be fully listening to recommendations and will decide to strike out against all of the current restrictions to our freedoms. And I'm here to confirm that we are not ready yet for things to go back to normal. Jupiter and Pluto will be making 2 more exact conjunctions in Capricorn this year. The planet of expansion and opportunity is meeting with the planet of death 2 more times. Each time we attempt to expand our authority, we will be met with death and transformation of our power. I will not be surprised if, due to our unwillingness to stay home, that we experience 1 to 2 more waves of this virus. So please, stay home and be safe. And let me remind you once again, we are in the age of Aquarius. Social distancing is the new normal, so you better get used to it, adapt, and evolve. I highly recommend using the bursts of energy to seek out new forms of self-expression. Expand your consciousness. Be innovative in your creative work. Redefine yourself and how you approach life. Learn how to use technology in a responsible way that enhances your life. The age of Aquarius is also the age of the internet. How can you begin to use it in useful and productive ways? This new moon is an opportunity for us to get real about our resources and our source of pleasure, and possibly unite the two. Imagine if you could do what you love for a living and be your own boss. It isn't as impossible as it may initially seem. You have the talent, you have the power. All you have to do is redirect your movement and prioritize yourself. Thank you for being here. Sending love from my multidimensional being to yours. Be well.